My name is Reinier de Graaf. I work for the Office for Metropolitan Architecture in Rotterdam. That is a very totalizing question, but I guess for me architecture is a form of thinking, most of all, a form of thinking that goes beyond building and a form of thinking that is about everything related to intent, everything that is the opposite of default. So for me architecture is as much concepts, ideas, organizational structures as buildings themselves. Well, in a way that relates to the answer to the second question. I think that architects could play many roles in contemporary society, because clearly the more wide your definition of architecture, also clearly the larger your career perspectives, or the larger your spectrum of involvement in contemporary society. And I think it's interesting that, of course, here we have an exhibition by architects who didn't even choose to be named as such. I mean, they went down in history as civil servants working for municipal departments, and thereby being part of a governmental structure, thereby being part of a political structure, thereby giving execution to political ideas in a time that architecture anyway was more political, or at least more part of a social utopia. And I think if you look at that, then very, very often the current definition of the architect is tragically limited. Well, the exhibition is in a way an expression of the theme in its pure form. That it's not an exhibition about our own work, it's an exhibition about a period that inspires us, first of all, but it's also about an exhibition where architects clearly had a common ground, because they sacrificed their own individual identity, their own drive for recognition in favor of a shared purpose, in favor of a shared public cause. So in that sense, this was the period in history, or a clear period in history, where architects worked on the basis of a common ground, or where common ground was a driver. It's interesting architecture, first of all, but it's also proof of a very interesting mentality. And many times, of course, we are also ranked amongst the star architects. That this exhibition is actually a very aggressive statement against, but we're often put in that category. And in that sense, to study the mentality is also a very interesting, maybe, reminder for us that there is more than one's own practice, that you are part of a collective, even if you don't necessarily think that every day.